right, welcome to the Spoiler Kings movie review. My name is Tankcramer. I am with Will. You can find Will at Peppa MD on that's your name everywhere, right? Twitch.
Everywhere. That sounds right.
What was that? Twitch, TikTok, all that stuff.
YouTube
Dude,
gaming.
real quick, I saw your TikTok with the where you're in the car and it says like something with the MILFs on it. What was
Yeah,
that for? That was hilarious.
a
That was
moving
hilarious.
company that MILF instead of what the usual stands for, it stands for like I don't know something witty with a moving company. I only edited the part where you only see Home of the MILFs or something like that.
Yeah.
It's perfect. So
That was
yeah,
that was that one got me laughing, man. That one was a good one.
real silly.
Um, but yeah, man, we'll go right into it. So this week we are talking about the movie that just came out was Spiral from the Book of Saw. I see you got it behind you. The
Hell
Dead
yeah.
by Daylight Saw update on it.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
Yep. Yep. Very
is that
excited.
live on the game yet?
So yeah, this has been in the game
Oh, it's
for the
been.
longest. Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
this is actually from the Saw movies, not Spiral, not the spin-off, but from the actual Saw, where Detective Tapp, as like the main character following him, he's the playable character in this game, and then the killer is the pig, who is played by Amanda
Yeah,
when she takes
the mantle,
the mantle.
the
Yeah, pretty
jigsaw
much.
mantle. Um,
Hmm.
yeah. So this one, who we got going? Oleg said, "I love this movie. The ending made me mad." Yeah, I got some feelings about the ending. I got some really good feelings about the ending. We're gonna get into that for sure.
We'll spoil that later, right?
Yeah, we'll spoil that. We'll keep the that for the end. You want to do the trailer?
Yeah, let's take a look at the trailer. See some nice friendly faces that we
So
haven't seen in a while. Look at Chris Rock.
yeah, Chris Rock, man, he's been kind of missing for a while.
Right. Samuel L.
Um,
Jackson, who doesn't have that many lines in the movie, and it
y-
has like 2 minutes of screen time, maybe.
yeah, he was not in it at all. I mean, two scenes,
Yeah.
you know, really,
Towards the
you know,
end, towards and then just talking about him, when so pretty
yeah,
much it follows Detective Ezekiel, who's like following in his father's footsteps, who's Samuel L. Jackson.
yeah.
Marcus, what's the names in here? Um, yeah,
I'm still
Marcus.
I'm still not quite sure on who Samuel Jackson was supposed to be. Did he bring down the original Jigsaw?
So
I
they
don't I
kind
don't
of they don't tie together. They don't tie together. And I've been
I
kind
don't
of
get it.
looking through this. He just happens to be a the head of the police force, I guess back in his day, and so
Uh-huh.
actually still currently. Um, he's just a bad cop. He's just a bad cop, and everything that's been happening, right? All the events that's been showing you in this film are because of Samuel L. Jackson's character. That's his whole tie into the movie.
Mm,
And the whole reason why he's even tied to it is because someone who gets mad, right? They get mad and decide to start killing, but they do it in the sense of a copycat, right? It's a
yeah.
copycat
Yeah, it's
killer
another copycat.
to Jigsaw. And you're gonna see a lot of yelling in this movie. This movie is very high impact, high intensity. There's no time for like digesting what just happened. It just keeps going, moving, boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom.
yeah, definitely. It was something where I'm like, wait, what? And I'm like, okay. It was like yeah, it was nonstop, like legit. Like I know, like when people say that, I was like, no, this one was because it was just
Yeah,
like I didn't even finish thinking about what happened in the last scene, and we're already going on to like,
yeah.
and everything's like kind of building and bigger, and I'm like, wait, what's going on? What's going on?
We got a new little. You saw that little creature, right? The little.
Yeah, the little pig dude.
Looking like Trump or something. Pretty much, it looks like a representation of, I guess, dirty pig cops. It's funny.
Yeah, I think
It's
that's
funny
what it's
that
supposed to be, right?
there's a lot of hidden themes in this movie. I noticed.
Yeah. Oh, I missed it. I always miss it.
It's okay. Well, overall, definitely a movie I think people should watch.
Yeah, that little thing.
Yeah, look, he's so ugly looking.
Yeah, it's
That's a
weird.
that's a dirty little pig. It's funny
Yeah.
as hell.
Yeah, I'm still not. I like that was one thing is like I watched this today
Hmm.
and I was just like, well, I'm like, how did Samuel Jackson tie into all of it? I just wasn't sure.
So he is head of the police force, right? This exact
Yeah.
team, right?
Or
He's
yeah.
a legend. He's put away so many guys and had his guys put away so many guys, but they've all been dirty. I mean, I guess they're trying to take a stab at today's social, thing that's going on with dirty cops and all these
Hmm.
police brutalities and anything to get your quota as a cop. They're kind of displaying that, and he was someone that's put away some people that he wasn't supposed to put away. A few innocent people got thrown in jail because of his team. He is like known to be a legend, around if you ask anybody on the police force,
Yeah.
and that's all his involvement is. It's just he's just a dirty cop doing dirty things, and
Mm,
because of all this stuff, he actually is the reason why. And then I kind of want to get to him too much because then it's gonna spoil the end. But he's the reason for someone's death that happens.
yeah.
That which triggers the killer, which you'll find out real soon, to start killing, do all these killings. If it wasn't for whoever Samuel L. Jackson killed, then we would never have this spiral killer.
Yeah. 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 Because they don't show in the movie. They don't show who Samuel L. Jackson killed.
No,
It
they they,
was,
they,
but
they kind of talk
it was
about it.
because of somebody else died because of that death. So it was like a chain reaction kind of thing.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes, yes.
yeah. Because
They,
I'm like,
they
wait, Samuel didn't. But they did talk about it at the end.
they didn't really show him like
No.
in the act of what he did to do whatever crimes he did.
Yeah.
It was kind of talked about. I don't know if the people at the production studio like had like a limited time with Samuel L. Jackson, but he has really
Yeah.
limited involvement in the film. Very very impactful, stuff that he was involved with, but for the
Yeah.
most part, you could have replaced him with anyone else. Not like I want to do that because who doesn't like to hear Samuel L. Jackson curse
Yeah.
in a
He's
movie?
always.
He's such a persona,
I think he just always takes whatever role he can get. I feel like.
for sure.
Yeah. Now, would not even get because he can get whatever role he wants, but he just takes whatever is like thrown at him. Like, oh, here's a Saw movie. He's like, I'm in. You
Yeah.
know, like it's like you want to be in Star Wars? Yes. So,
Hell
you
yeah.
know, but yeah, so yeah, that's what it kind of all started with like Chris Rock,
it,
you
it,
know,
it zooms in
in it.
on his life, right? Everything's kind
Yeah,
of revolved around him because he's the only good guy cop. Some of the cops that were on his team, he put them away, or he tried to put them away, or he
yeah,
like snitched on them.
yeah. He's
He's
known
like
as the Rat. He's
he's
the
known as the
snitch.
rat.
Yeah,
And if you know anything about cops, right? They have sort of this whole brotherhood, stance
the
on
yeah,
what's it called?
like the code, like a
The
code, like
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
thing.
They have a code where they don't snitch on each other, even when they do the worst, most heinous things. There's so many cops that harass women when they don't need to, or they harass people of color, or they harass just the worst kinds of people, right? I mean, like not worst kind of people, the worst kinds of reasons to mess with people. They do
Yeah,
that, and so yeah, this movie like takes a jab at them. I think now more than ever,
I
this
think
movie
that.
coming out it kind of says something. I think if whoever the guys that are like back in the blue, I feel like they might come after Chris Rock after this one, man.
Yeah, but like you said though, Chris's character Zeke was the only
Good
good
cop.
guy,
Hmm.
and he was the one always like saying that. He's like, because like, there's a part where he's like, I can't trust anybody here, so like, and then he like flicks at the window, blinds, and they're all like peeking in, kind of thing, like something like super cliche, but it's
Right.
just like no one gave him any respect, and I'm like, why? Because that starts off right in the beginning. It's like no one respected him,
It's because he turned
and
in a
then
bad cop.
then you find out, and then that story, starts to reveal itself throughout the movie.
Hmm.
But yeah, that was kind of crazy. You want to, before we get into the story, you want to just talk about some of the gory, gruesome, crazy
Oh,
stuff? Because I feel like some of the things like that really won't give it away, but
yeah. So
some might.
we had a few ways in which these cops, because they're all cops, all the victims in this film. Yeah, spoiler alert, they're all cops. They're
Yeah,
all cops that are,
yeah,
are, are the victims in this case because of all the dirty shit they did. So we have a few scenes where the killings they kind of like one upped each other. The first one it started off with the tongue trap. right?
Oh yeah,
Hanging off in the by the train tracks.
yeah.
You're gonna die one of two ways. You're gonna die of blood loss from your tongue getting ripped off, or you're gonna die from a train coming at you full speed. And funny
Yeah,
as hell, the guy in the train, running the train, he looked sleepy as shit. So he was not gonna react to trying to stop the train in time. It was so funny seeing
yeah,
that.
yeah,
But definitely, that was like, just to start off the film was a nice way to kind of bring you back to the Saw vibes that we once had. Even though we've gone on for how many films Saw has? Like seven
a
films.
lot.
So many. I lost count by now.
Yeah,
I
I
like
know.
them. I'm a Saw fan. Are you a Saw fan? You like the Saw movies?
Um, I am, but then I lost interest for a while because it got a little just boring. I gotta say, the Jigsaw one was I thought was pretty good, and that one I think that one brought a lot of people back into it.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it was getting a little boring because there was a copycat, and the copycat was kind of boring, and in this one there's another copycat. But I like I can see what they're doing with this, and I like it. I was like, they're doing little side stories and stuff like that, which is very realistic. Like if you go in the real world, like
Hmm.
you're gonna get copycats. You're gonna get people like, oh, I get what he was doing. I could do that too, kind of thing. So
For
but
me,
yeah,
I kind of felt like it was kind of a mimic towards the Purge movies. You know how with the
yeah, yeah,
Purge, there's different points of view you could zoom in on to get a
yeah,
story out of a movie. You could go into the deep streets, or like the little gangs that form. You could do a whole bunch of movies, and there's a TV series now that kind of does that. But I thought this was another way, digging into. I mean, they've kind of already follow around cops and detectives from the
yeah,
previous Saw movies, but this is another way to dig into, yet another story of, um, an African American cop who deals with, I'm sure racial stuff, as well as, back to blue kind of stuff. So it's another cool thing to see being
yeah,
brought in story wise.
yeah. One thing is I don't know how it tied into the other Saw movies besides the copycat. There's
That's
no really
that's
direct
about it.
link.
That's about it.
Just
There's
like
there's no real like Easter eggs that are revealed in this movie to make you
yeah,
think that. So unless I've missed them, I gotta watch the movie again. But
yeah. I mean, definitely when it comes out and watch it at home a bunch of times because it was a pretty quick movie. It's a pretty short movie,
it's
which I enjoyed. I thought I think it was how long was it? It was like an
an
hour, less than
hour.
an hour and a half,
It was
right?
90 minutes. 90 minutes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There you go.
So what is that? I can't do math. An hour 30 minutes.
Yeah, an hour and a half right there. Which I think is for something like this is perfect time. Like you don't want to go too long and
No,
then
no.
yeah, too short is a little too fast. I think an hour and a half is good. Is
True,
really good.
true. The box office. O'Donnell's mentions
Somewhere in the
that
box
it did
office.
super well at the box office. Let's
Yeah.
check those numbers real quick. But I think now that we're kind of everybody's getting more vaccinated. Everyone's really trying to go out to the theaters. Let's see, box. So
12 million. That is not bad. The budget was
8.7
20
million.
million. Yeah, well, yeah, I'm looking at was this worldwide? It might be worldwide.
Okay, yeah, you are.
Yeah.
In the United States, as of May 16, it grossed 8.7 million. So
Yeah.
yeah, number one. It topped off. Who was number one recently? We just did the movie actually.
The past couple of weeks it was Mortal Kombat was number one,
Hmm.
Demon Slayer and Wrath of Man.
Oh, Wrath of Man. Wrath of
I think
Man.
was it Wrath of Man?
It was Wrath of
Yeah, I
Man last
believe it was
week.
Wrath of
They
Man.
they got the number one spot. So now they've been
Yeah.
dethroned by Spyro. So
And
that's pretty interesting.
I think we're gonna see that a lot too. Um, every week, whatever movie's out is gonna be the big movie. Because like
Probably
you said,
that.
people are gonna want to go out, so they're gonna want to see, what's out this week, what's out this week. You
Right.
know, where before people kind of like waited a week to go see a movie and stuff like that.
True. I kind of felt like, because the Saw series has been regurgitated so many times, I kind of, for a second, I thought that this movie was gonna actually do real poor, but they kind of surprised me. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm.
I just feel like, man, you do seven Saw movies, that's like the equivalent to doing another Freddy Krueger movie. Who's really gonna come out to see that another Freddy Krueger movie? Not
Yeah,
yet, at
it gets
least.
it gets it gets boring after a while. Same thing with like Michael Myers, all those scary movies, they get boring.
True.
So, but yeah, I mean, this one was not too bad. But yeah, so there was the tongue guy. So he was
Tongue
like
Sing.
hanging in a subway tunnel, and the option was fall and let your tongue be ripped out or get hit by a train.
Right.
So I was
I
like,
mean, it's. I
those
mean,
suck.
your options are very well limited, but I kind of feel like you have to rip out your tongue. I mean, I know it's the obvious one, but like all he had to do. Oh, and the fact that he was held by his tongue, and the weight of his like tippy toes. He was like tippy toeing
Yeah, he was barely kind of
on a
yeah.
little platform or a little chair or something. And so like, man, I would have just kicked the chair and said fuck it, you know. Like, but then again, it's
Man,
easier
just be
said than
quick.
done.
Yeah,
I've never been
yeah.
into these traps.
And then I was looking at like it just held it in with pressure.
Yeah, just pressure. I
You know,
couldn't tell. I was trying to look at the
I was
different
trying to
angles. I thought
yeah,
a nail or like some kind of screw would have been in the middle of his tongue. That would have made a lot of sense too, like to really
but
hold
that
it
would have
in.
just split it. So I
It
was
would
like,
have.
fuck it. You know, I mean, people
Yeah.
pay to get that done. you know,
True.
So I was like, but obviously, the big thing with the Saw movies is they wait too long, and then whatever decision they make doesn't matter anymore because they're gonna die because they waited too long. Same
Yeah.
thing with this guy. I think he made the decision to say fuck it, but a little too late.
I feel like the killer in this film, he really, if you look at like, so he did more killings, right? He did the tongue trap. He had the finger trap, where this guy's hands, Detective, I think Finch or Detective Fitch, I should say.
Yeah,
He's threatened with getting electrocuted, or he has to rip his fingers off. It's like a Chinese
yeah, we're getting to that one right.
trap.
Whew, that was a nasty.
That one was sick, dude. Like,
I
ah,
thought that
man.
was more brutal because they show the fingers getting like just ripped out. I was
Yanked.
like, I don't think they're medically accurate. Like that's how it would actually happen. But it was kind of nasty. It was because it was like like when you pull out a what the fuck a shrimp. When you pull out the shrimp, it just
Oh
kind of like
yeah.
it just like slides out. That's what it was. It was just like, oh, it's just gonna slide out. I was like,
That's not how it works.
that's no. It would probably be like, yeah, but
Got
yeah, that was
tendons that'll rip off, all that
it
shit.
was it was kind of because I was at first. Well, the first guy, the reason why he had the tongue was because he had lied, I believe, or he told too many lies or something like that.
Yeah,
And they're like, oh, you rip out the tongue, you can't lie anymore. This guy, I guess he killed somebody because he pulled the trigger.
yeah, trigger
Yeah.
happy.
So they're like, you're not going to get any fingers. But what was his? I wasn't paying attention, or I just it just missed me. Was like, what was the other option? How
Uh,
could he have gotten out?
electric. So no, that was the way he was gonna live. Him ripping his fingers off, right? That was his live
Yeah,
option, which is
yeah, yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
His death
That's right.
option was him getting electrocuted
And
because there
because he
was
was in a
water
pool.
behind. He was in a
Yeah,
pool,
yeah,
and his legs were connected to the water as a conductor. Boom, he was gonna get fried with the water and electricity. Yeah,
yeah,
very like I think in this film especially they went hardcore with the options to where like you really don't have a high chance of surviving. Even if you pick
yeah,
the live option, like I don't think you're gonna live. This guy
yeah.
really was pissed
Seriously.
off at cops. I mean, a lot of people were pissed off at cops. A lot of people, but
Yeah, I
damn, this
mean
guy was.
he's pretty. I won't say justified, but I was like, yeah. I mean he's mad. He's mad. I mean you get why later.
Yeah,
Um, but it took a while for me to figure out who it was. I'm like,
yeah.
oh, I thought it was her. I thought it was him. I thought it was that. Oh yeah,
hmm
we're getting to that one next. Holy,
The lady's face getting melted with the wax. That was the captain, the female
yeah.
captain,
So
which
she was the
badass. But like, damn, that was rough. So her options of and she was the captain running the show. I guess she witnessed or like knew of bad shit going down. So she had the option of getting So if you know what's waterboarding, you know what's waterboarding?
yeah.
Being
She had I
waterboarded.
thought the worst option out of everybody. I
So
was
hers was being
mad
like
with her.
waterboarded, but with wax, hot boiling wax. She was either
Yeah,
gonna get
that's true.
waterboarded, or she was gonna have to sever her spine. She was gonna have to cut off her spine with something that was like poking to the back of
Yeah,
her neck, and she would have to like paralyze herself to live. But who wants to live that lifestyle?
yeah. I was like, that's not a life worth living. Like, I mean, I get that there are a lot of people that live like that, but it's like, it's man, like what, like
How do you make
Yeah,
that choice? Yeah.
but also like, how would that also prevent her from not dying either?
It
You
was
know?
gonna. They didn't really say too much, but something about it was gonna stop the machine from pouring the more
Okay,
wax to
because
her.
yeah, that would be the only way
Hmm.
about it. And also when so her thing, she got they tricked everyone to get her alone so they can capture her. And when Chris Rock finds out about it, it seems like no one gave a shit. He's like, "Where
No.
is she?" And the one cop is like, "I don't know." He's like, "Where is she? She's gonna die." Oh, she's in the basement, maybe. It was like you're going after a copycat, and everyone's like, "I don't know." Like, he goes,
Remember,
why you yelling? Why you angry?" It's like, shut the fuck up. What?
it's like when you go to Target and they're like, "It's not my department. You got to go to photo."
Yeah, exactly, exactly,
That shit was too
exactly.
funny, man.
But
People just didn't give a shit in this movie. They didn't.
yeah, which I mean, it also plays in like because they are bad cops.
Right.
They like yeah, well, they're like whatever, but yeah, they're that. I saw that at that part. I was like, Chris Rock's running around screaming like a madman, and
He is.
then he goes in. He goes, "Where's the captain?" And she goes, "I don't know." He's like, "Where? She's gonna be. She's gonna die." He's like, "She's in the basement." It was like,
Could have gave
like
me that at first, bro.
it was like, no, I'm coming in here just because. It was like, I don't know.
That's pretty funny.
I think she was one of the last ones besides the ending. We'll get into the ending. There's one more
Yep.
big torture killing. Um,
What was the other one?
but what do you think about Chris Rock's acting?
Okay, so here's the thing. I was a little surprised when he decided he went to Lionsgate to
Oh,
approach with
really?
this film. Yeah, he was fighting for
Oh,
this film. No one else was trying to get another Saw movie to get put out. No one's thirsty
huh.
for that. He was deciding, and I heard about this I think a year, 2 years ago, and I thought it was BS. I'm like, him? He's a. I mean, I know comedians they could be in serious roles, but I'm like,
Yeah.
nah, you can't have Chris Rock and it. Like, it's gonna tell like jokes the whole time? No, like you gotta be serious in the role. So he's the one that went to them and he was really
Interesting.
thirsty for that role. So that kind of like makes you think like, oh, okay, how bad do you want a role? That you're willing to go to the production studio and be like, hey, I want to make this film. So he did it, was successful. He even brought in Samuel Jackson, which was nice. I don't think they would have wanted him to come in, to be honest, but who
Yeah,
knows?
yeah, yeah.
He,
I mean,
he,
those are big names. That's why I'm
very
like,
big.
how do they get big names like that?
Hmm.
Where everyone like no one else in the movie I recognized anybody.
Yeah.
Like no one else.
No, not really. The acting, I think he did okay acting. I think it was believable. I believed him that he was pissed. He was like the even though he did bring some comedy to the film, which is kind of funny, some relief comedy.
Yeah,
So the whole time in this film, right, we find out that he doesn't do well with others, right? No one's trusting of Chris Rock. So for some reason, because no one wants him, it's kind of like Rush Hour, low key. No one wants
yeah,
him
yeah.
fiddling with their their bad crimes and shit that they be doing. They want to get a rookie to him. So this new guy who's never done anything wrong, real sketchy, gets pinned off to him as his partner. So in there, they're having a conversation in the beginning of the film. He's kind of Chris Rock is showing the new guy, the ropes on all this, what's going on, and he's like, "Oh, you got a wife? Oh man, she's gonna cheat on you within a few months. Like, forget
Yeah.
about that." He's going through a divorce and blah blah blah. Chris Rock, and he's just talking shit. He's like, "Yeah, man, like, well, Pilates is not real. Like,
Yeah, that was funny.
Pilates is not real, man. That's where they go to, get smashed by dudes." And he's
Yeah,
just he's showing him, that he don't fuck with no one. And
yeah,
for a cop to not to trust his team or anyone is it speaks volumes for sure.
yeah, yeah. He was definitely the lone wolf kind of guy. He didn't want a partner. Well, the first guy that died was his first partner.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
right, that's
remember?
right.
Yeah, and then he was kind of upset that like no one really cared,
Yeah.
besides like Chris Rock is like, what the fuck. So that's what
Hmm.
kind of like got him like attached to this case. He's like,
Right.
oh, I need to catch the guy who was like my only friend, in this place.
True.
So that was kind of like cool. But yeah, the rookie was just there. He's just Yeah, I
Yeah, the
thought he was like
rookie.
helping. I
Who's he
can't.
played by? He's Max Minghella. Yep,
Yeah, which
whoever
I
that
have
is.
no idea what.
So I've seen him once. I've only
Did
seen him one film. He's if you ever watched I think it was Legally Blonde. He's in there, I think. Very small
Mm,
role.
okay.
He plays like a know-it-all like law student or something like that. I think he was in that movie. He was in like some really small roles. So I'm glad he got this gig. But yeah, I don't know of this guy Max
Yeah,
Minghella.
I'm
But he
looking at this.
plays William Shink
Yeah,
in the film.
I guess he was in The Social Network, Handmaid's Tale.
Oh, he
Not too
was in the
many.
Social Network.
Not
Was
too
it
many
Social Network? I'm
things.
thinking. Yeah, not too many things that were big. This is like I think his biggest role, to be honest.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking at his IDB and or IMDb.
Hmm.
Yeah, this is probably yeah. But yeah, so he had a tattoo of his wife's name or his dad's name. I forgot who he had a tattoo of on his
Hmm.
like forearm.
I
You know,
forgot.
like a
Yeah.
name.
I don't remember.
I
Yeah.
can't. I don't remember. Um, but I know like somewhere in the movie, there's like somebody who delivers like a box, and then they think it's a bomb. They open it up, and it's like the pig head. But I thought it was like a baby body. I'm like, what the fuck? But it's
Oh,
just like other skin. It's like skin that somebody just wrapped around like a doll, which was
yeah.
that looked creepy. I was like, that
It
just
did.
looked weird. And then as he grabbed it, he looked at it, he saw his partner's tattoo
Hmm.
skinned the whole skin like on the guy's back. I was like, ooh, that's fucked up.
That kind of reminded me of a TV show getting gifted some like nasty pig shit. Um, I don't know if you've ever watched it. Real goofy, but I kind of enjoyed it. It's the Scream TV series by MTV. They were
Yeah.
doing some shit in there where they were like mailing, a love interest, like a pig heart or something like that. That shit was, it's weird right here to see people doing shit like that.
Yeah.
Definitely disturbing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that kept happening in this film. He kept getting like a pink box with like some real like craft like or arts and crafts like twine. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So weird.
Yeah. There was like this like little things that they did like well in that one where after you saw the tattoo there was like a model paint jar tucked in the skin or something.
Mm.
And then he knew it because that's where they got their paint when him and his dad were younger and they would like do models, as he was a kid.
Okay.
And then that's how he went to that place, but it's not there anymore. It's a butcher house, I think now, right? Or a deli or something like that.
I think it was like a deli. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like I'm like, oh, whoever this is knows who who this guy who Zeke is, who's Chris Rock's character, like
Yep.
background and stuff like that. Which I'm like, is it Samuel Jackson? Is it Samuel Jackson? Because even
Man.
he was being called out by other cops in the movie that like, oh, he's doing it.
Mm.
Like where's your
Yep.
dad at? When's the last time you saw your dad? That type of shit. I was
He
like,
was
ooh,
MIA a lot, right? He was. He because of
yeah.
him not being in the film. That was actually questioned. I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's when he snapped at one of the guys. He's like, "When's the last time you saw your dad?" He's like, "This morning." He goes, "Right." Thinking he's covering up for his dad.
Shit.
And Chris Rock lost his shit. And that's when he starts looking for his dad.
Yeah.
But I mean, I thought it was gonna be the captain, and it wasn't because she winds up dying. I thought it was gonna be the partner, because of the tattoo thing.
Mm.
And then I'm like, oh, it's gonna be the dad. It's gonna be Samuel Jackson. Which would be an awesome twist because he's such a big character and he hasn't had a big part of the movie yet.
Yeah.
So I was like, something's gonna happen. But we get to the end, of it, and it just kind of it's like a factory or something like that.
Ooh.
I forgot how he gets told to go there. I'm trying to remember now.
Uh,
Oh
don't
no, he
know.
doesn't. He gets captured.
He gets captured.
Remember, he gets captured.
Something with
Yeah,
his
yeah, yeah.
hand? No.
He gets captured, like he's just like walking out or something like that, and
Hmm.
then he gets captured. Um,
Hmm.
and then he wakes up and he's like the first saw he's
Oh yeah,
handcuffed to like a
pipe to
pipe.
the
Yeah,
pipe, right? With the hand.
yeah.
Yep. And
And there's a
the
saw
right
there,
there,
obviously.
little
Yeah,
homage to the first one.
yeah.
and that one, he was meant to get out of that one, right? I think he had the
I
best
think so.
probability of winning his test or his little mini test
Yeah.
because he finds a bobby pin. Who finds a bobby pin
Yeah, that's why I was like,
next to being
that
locked
one
up
was
with
rigged.
handcuffs? Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's how he gets out. He doesn't cut off his hand. I was kind
No.
of hoping, not hoping, but I was like looking, what is it, expecting him to cut off his hand, but he didn't. He ends up finding the bobby pin and he gets himself out. And then in
Yeah.
searching through that place he was at, a little, like, it looked like a factory.
Yeah, like an abandoned
He
factory.
he finds his dad, and he's all rigged
Well,
up.
before that, he
Well, before that.
finds
Hmm.
the guy. Remember with the glass stuff blowing at his back.
Oh, I forgot about that guy.
Yeah,
So
because
this guy is tied up. Yeah, you're right. You're right. He's tied up by his hands and feet, and there's
he's
like
just
a
hanging.
grinder. There's a grinder, right? An industrial sized grinder that's like as big as a small bathroom or something. And the killer starts throwing bottles, or it has something that rigs bottles to
Yeah, it's
be.
the conveyor belt that just
Yep.
drops it in. Yeah.
Or there you go, yeah, yeah. And as the bottles get shot into the grinder, it shoots glass directly at the hanging body. I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, what a way to go, dude.
Yeah. But then I think that's the part where we get well, we get a big chunk of the story is that the guy that's hanging
Hmm.
is like was the crookedest cop kind of thing. You know, he's the one
Yeah,
that Chris Rock like got called a rat for kind of thing. So
yeah.
we find out like this guy is interviewing witnesses
Hmm.
and he goes to this one house and he tells the guy, he goes, oh, can you see this person? He's like, yeah. He goes, even though it was through this and blah blah, he goes, and he tells the cop, he goes, I'm willing to testify, anything to for justice, he's trying to be a good guy.
Oh
And the
yeah,
cop was like, oh, okay, bam, just
shoots him.
right in the chest, that's it. And then Chris Rock comes running, he goes, what happened? He goes, you pulled a gun on me.
Yeah.
And even Chris Rock was like, the witness pulled a gun out on you. Okay.
What gun? And
Yeah.
doesn't he toss a gun too? And he plants a gun.
Yeah, they plant a gun and a pitcher and stuff like
Damn.
that. Like, yeah, they had it ready. I was like, that's messed up. So it was like, obviously, this guy didn't want to. The cop wanted him to look away, and this guy was like trying to do the right thing. It's
Right.
like, oh, I know the guy who killed this guy. I can help you out. And he's
Right.
like, no, you're not. Bam. And I was like, dang.
I forgot about
So
the. Hmm.
so him and Chris Rock do not like each other because he's the bad cop. Chris Rock turned him in, and he went to remember. I think he was working at a church, but
Yeah.
you can still he had that like asshole bullshit kind of thing. Like I have
Hmm.
nowhere else to go, so I'm just working here at the church kind of thing.
Right.
So, but Chris Rock still he tried to save him. He tried to save him.
He attempted to.
Which
Yeah.
which really says a lot about that character. Zeke was like,
Hmm.
you're a piece of shit. You deserve to die. I know you deserve to die, but me being the good guy, the honorable person, I'm gonna try to save you. And he
Right.
did. He tried. Didn't do it, but he tried.
For most of the ones where he tried to save him, he was just too late. He like you said
Yeah,
earlier, you don't get enough time, even as a character in the movie, you don't get enough time to digest what just happened,
yeah,
and you're just like, oh shit, boom, death.
yeah. And I think that was why the first one was so great, was because it wasn't like decide right now, dead. It was like
Yeah,
it was a slow burn, and
yeah.
you're fighting with these thoughts, and you had all these issues, and that's why the first one is just gonna go down in history as one of the best, like scary. It wasn't really a thriller kind of gory movies
Okay.
ever. You know, where as it progressed, it was just like these crazy things, and it was almost a no-win kind of scenario. I mean, even I think one of the spin or one of the multiple number 6 or whatever it was
Hmm.
winds up the copycat does it, but she does it where there is no winning. You
Oh
know,
yeah,
remember
you're
that?
right.
And I think somebody called her out. They're like, "Oh, that's bullshit." Because Spiral or Jigsaw said like he's giving you a choice.
Right,
And
right.
she's like, "You're not giving it. You're killing this person. That's the difference." And she got all pissed off or whatever.
Yeah, that's
But
literally murder. I mean, they're all murder,
yeah,
but
I mean, they're all
yeah,
murder.
at least Jigsaw was like, "I'll give you a chance to
Like,
live."
yeah, you could learn a lesson. You're gonna pay for that lesson, but
Right.
you could live. But that's why the first one I thought was great, and then all the other ones are like you have like 10 seconds max to figure out.
I
Yeah.
kind of liked that, like in most of the Saw movies, they would show you like a physical timer, like somewhere on the wall, like in your
Mm,
wherever you're being held. They show like a red
like a
like timer
clock or
or
yeah.
clock. That I always like that because then it really gave you a sense of, oh, I have a chance at winning this thing, this test or
Hmm.
whatever this. But not in this one. It's just like, oh damn, you're about to die. Yeah, you're gonna die. Boom.
Yeah. Yeah. Like yeah, it's just so yeah, so he winds up dying and then he kind of like starts wandering
Yeah.
around or something like that. I forgot how he gets to a room where he sees a guy hanging like from puppet strings with
Mhm.
like tubes coming out to jars and this blood,
Yeah, he
and it
was
winds up
slowly getting drained, right? His blood was
yeah
slowly like time per bite.
draining.
Really fucked up way to die too.
Yeah, that's really messed up. But that wound up being his dad. That was Samuel Jackson because Samuel Jackson.
Mhm.
One quick scene is he gets kidnapped as well.
Okay.
I think
With
that
this
was
little
actually
girl.
that part. I think it was actually this part right here, like where Samuel Jackson is going and
Yeah.
he sees the piggy thingy.
Oh
That's
yeah.
I think that's the part where he gets
It's bad.
captured. They put a bag on his head and take him. So I was like, oh shit! So it's not him, you know.
Yeah.
So I was like, you don't know who it is yet, and then you find out like right then and there that it was the partner,
hmm It was
and
the new
that kind of
guy,
like
the
yeah, the new
rookie.
guy. Which I'm like what they. I guess they implied he died, but they didn't. You actually didn't see him die. So if you don't see them die, they're not
Then they're
dead,
not
you
dead,
know.
right? The
So
new guy that got me out of nowhere, man. And the reason why the
yeah,
new guy is tied into all of this is because Samuel L. Jackson is the reason why the new guy, his father, was killed.
yeah,
His
yeah.
father was killed. I forgot again, man. Some of the stuff I kind of rolled over. I was real sleepy when I was watching this. I'm not gonna lie, like yeah, I might have dozed
Well, like
off a
you said,
couple
it
times.
happened so quick that you're still trying to piece together what happened, and then now they're throwing this at you, and then they're throwing this at you. But I
Right.
think, and I after talking to you, so I was like, the guy that got shot by the bad cop
hmm
that Chris Rock tried to save right before,
Yeah. The
he
son of a
was
bitch.
going to like snitch on Samuel L. Jackson, I believe, for killing somebody else or something like that, or
Mm,
for doing something or seeing something. That's what it was.
yeah.
So Samuel L. Jackson did something. This guy saw it, and the cop killed that guy for seeing it. So again, it's like just a chain, you know.
Yeah.
Everything's linked.
A lot of
But
a lot of snitching going around.
yeah,
I'll say that.
but then you get the big reveal of it where Chris Rock kind of peeks in the door to look at the dead body,
hmm
and he sees a little boy in the closet, like down the hall, and this gives him like the shh kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I guess that's how they got the bad cop in trouble and stuff like that. So and then he goes on this big evil it was like evil person rant,
Right.
evil villain rant. He goes, you didn't know how hard it was to get here. I had to do this, I had to do that. I was like what? I'm like, but also like part of that was like, so Chris Rock didn't keep tabs on you like at all. I feel
Yeah.
like there
His
would have
whole
been some kind of like, yeah,
his whole thing was he doesn't trust anybody. I would think if you don't trust anyone, especially your partner, you would dig into their lives and be like, hey, what's this guy about? But he didn't.
yeah,
He dropped the bomb.
yeah. Just kind of like it's like change his name, different name.
hmm
Said he had a wife and a daughter, and he didn't have a wife and a daughter,
hmm
which was kind of like that was kind of like awesome. Where they were talking on the phone, and you heard a baby screaming in the background. He's like, "Oh, I gotta go. I gotta get the kid." And then you find out like they cut from the partner's point of view. It's a laptop playing baby sounds and stuff like that. I was like, "Get the hell out of here!" I mean, it's something very simple. I was
Sneaky
like,
killing.
"Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
A lot of these kills were really simple based. Like so if you think
yeah,
of a lot of the first Saw films, reverse bear trap, some of these little mechanisms that they have were so complex. You're like, huh? That thing is gonna rig the car to do this and that, and
yeah,
man, those were just mind fucks. Whoever the writers were for that, which two of the writers from I think Saul's, what is it, 4, 5, 6, one of those, some of the middle ones. James Wan and damn, who's the other one?
Uh,
He's great.
yeah,
No,
the
the other
James
one.
Wan and Lee Wano. I can't
Yeah,
think
I'm
of his
saying
name.
James Wan. He came into this one to do this one. Yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah.
both of the original
All
or
those
two of the
producers.
original characters,
Yeah,
James Wan and then Lee Wano. I can't think of his name.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
They were just executive producers.
yeah.
It was written by Josh Stolberg and Peter Goldfinger.
There you go.
You know, um,
But I didn't mind that though. I didn't mind the simplicity of some of the traps. Like,
yeah,
it's not so much how complex you make it; it's what kind of a message are you saying with those traps. And I think they did a good job for each one.
yeah.
Um,
Oh, here the director Darren Lynn Bousman.
oh, okay.
That's his fourth film in the series. He's
There you
done
go.
four Saw movies.
Yep.
So
And the ones he's done pretty
I'm
well
trying. I don't know which ones he
well
did.
done.
Um,
I was looking at it earlier.
yeah,
He did like my favorite ones of the Saw series were like Saw's one, um, and I think
yes. I
like
mean, yeah, it's gonna.
4 and 5, one of those middle ones.
So it looks. Yeah, it looks like he did 2, 3, 4,
Those four.
and then this one is his fourth one.
Okay.
So yeah, I remember watching 2 and 3. I'm like, those are good. 4, I don't quite remember, but I think like it was around like whatever came after 4 was it started getting
Extra. Yeah.
boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just wasn't the same kind of stuff anymore.
Hmm.
It's like them trying to just like keep going off of the same kind of just going just throwing the name out there because they know people are going to come to see it, and I
Right.
don't like that. You know,
Yeah.
you
I
know.
mean, from a killer standpoint, right? How scary of a killer does Jigsaw and now the new one, Spiral, how scary are they to you? If you were to like be in a real life scenario, right, with and you see that little fuck on the tricycle,
Yeah.
pedaling his way towards you while you're like locked up, like how scared would you be? Are you more scared of Jigsaw, or are you more scared of Michael Myers? Are you more scared of any other classic horror icons?
Well, like everyone else, like they're gonna kill you no matter what. They're going to kill you because they want to kill you. Where Jigsaw, he had a reason behind it. So it was like you
Yeah,
had a chance to live. You're probably gonna lose a leg, an arm, an eye, something, but you could still live. That's why I didn't like the one where like she can get her like, oh, you're gonna lose all control from your legs down or from your
oh
neck
yeah,
down. So I was like, but that's like you're like that's not like living. And I don't want to be insensitive to people that are like paraplegics and stuff like that, but it's
right.
like it's like suck. It's like either die or never move again for the rest of your life. It was like
That's a tough choice.
you know and then especially at that point it's like if it whatever part on your neck, if you just go one up higher, then like you can't use the washroom, you can't eat anymore, like you have to be
Yeah,
fed through a tube in your stomach,
yep.
like so it's like it's like
It's
damn,
it's
where
the trauma. It's the trauma that's
yeah,
slowly killing you.
yeah, like the other guys, like you could live without any fingers, it would suck, but you can figure it out. You can, because they have prosthetics. You can live without a tongue because there people live full lives. That are mute. Learn sign language, whatever. Heard like there's nothing. That's it. Like
Yeah,
either die or be in a bed for the rest of your life.
I,
It's like
I don't mean
what.
to laugh, but yeah, those are your choices. Those are very hard, tough choices.
So that's why with Jigsaw though it was always like something. Like you can lose something, but you still live.
I don't know. I think
But
me if I were to like get put in those situations, I'd rather just die. I think 9 times out of 10 with
man,
most of those challenges they have to go through, the trauma. Even let's say you do survive most of those things, right? You lose your fingers, you lose your tongue, you lose your man parts. A lot of these things, like yeah, you could live a life, but the trauma that comes with that, the PTSD from like
Yeah,
these events that you just went through that fucked you up psychologically too, man, I don't know if I could deal with some of that stuff. I'm not a
yeah.
strong individual in that sense to where like if I get traumatized that bad, I don't know if I could keep going, especially
I
with
don't. Well, I think isn't
suburbs.
it's yeah, yeah. That's
That's
yeah.
the
I
worst
rather
one.
just like kill me. Like seriously, because it's quality versus quantity. Quantities like how many years you got left, whether how many good years you have left, kind of thing. It's like
Right.
quality of life is big for me. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, also these guys, the people that get it done in these movies are people that deserve to be reminded of how fucked up of a person they are or whatever bad thing they did.
Yeah.
So that's like the whole point. So it's like I don't know. I
Well,
don't know. I mean,
as a Chicagoan, right? We grew up in Chicago. We look behind our backs constantly. I'm trying to think would I ever get. I mean, I haven't lived you know what do you call that, like Mother Teresa type life. I'm not like goody two shoes.
you're not a saint.
Yeah, I'm not a dago. I'm not a saint, but like I wonder, could I fend off the killer, like Amanda, or if it
Mm,
was Jigsaw? How strong are they, by the way? Like some of these things I keep thinking of
yeah, I
are
don't know.
like, what's the probability of me actually surviving an encounter with one of these killers? Michael Myers, you're gonna die.
Yeah,
Freddy Krueger, that's a fucked up way to die in your dreams. Jigsaw killer, I might have to jump on him. I'm kind of like a paranoid
you
dude
can.
to where I would, maybe catch him, but
Yeah.
who
I
knows?
mean, but I feel like that's gonna also be sneaky. They're gonna like poke you with a little needle that has like drugs in it or something like that. As you're walking by.
So the reason why I
Something
asked
like that.
this a little bit is because of this right here, right? The killer in Dead by Daylight. It's a video game that I
Mm,
play. It's a asymmetric one versus four player game, and her, I should say, because the killer in there is called Amanda. It's really based
mm,
off of her when she takes over. Her power is just that it's just to sneak up on you. She crouches, so she'll be
mm.
real silent and she gets you by surprise. But she just does a dash. She has like that the little knife coming out.
Yeah.
That's all her power is. And then well, besides that, when she downs you whatever in the game, puts a reverse bear trap on your head. So
Oh,
that's
jeez.
crazy. You gotta find a
That's gonna
way
go.
to take those off, and then you continue on with the game. But I'm thinking like, is
Hmm.
there a better way you can make her as a killer?
Yeah, that's why I don't know because they're not like super villains. They're not like Michael Myers or Freddy. Jason. Like those guys are like supernatural kind of. Where the Saw killers are very based in real world, so everything is like that. Yeah, that's kind of interesting what they did with as a video game. That's it's kind of interesting.
It was. I still keep thinking that hopefully one day, the people that made this chapter, I should say, I hope they like rework her power or something. Like,
Mm,
so
like
that's all she does.
give her a buff.
Give her a buff. Yeah, yeah. She needs a buff, man.
Yeah.
She's real. That's her only thing is she can be sneaky and that's it. While, like you said, Michael Myers or any of these other ones, they have physical powers. They have like can stalk the shit out of you, or they can like have an actual supernatural power.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's
I
kind
don't
of
know.
funny. Oh, dude, we didn't even talk about the ending. So, like, what what Holy said, what the movie, but the ending made me mad. The
Oh.
ending. So that's how you find out the partner did it. Gives you the story on why he did it,
Hmm.
and he gives him a choice. He goes, "There's one bullet in the gun that he hands him. He goes,
Oh yeah.
kill me." Gives it to Chris Rock. Is it kill me or hit that target and save your dad? And they'll bring him down, and the needles will come out and stuff like that.
Right.
So the whole time, and I'm like, bring your dad down. You can go after him your entire life.
Right.
It's like your dad's going to die. Save your dad.
Hmm.
And then that's when he makes him. The partner makes Samuel Jackson admit um, what he did, like why he was a bad cop.
Yeah.
And how everything is tied together in this group of people.
Right.
So, and all the cops are coming. He called 911, I
Hmm.
think. So he's got a few minutes before the cops are on their way. And man, I gotta say though, the ending it was a good ending, but it also made me angry. And ending,
Yeah.
it was like I liked it and hated it. It's like, how can I be mad at it and like it at the same time? And it's just like, fuck, you know. But so he shoots. He eventually the cops are coming up, you know, and then he shoots at the target. Samuel Jackson comes falling down, and you know, he runs up to him. He's like, oh, he goes, go get him, go get him.
Right. Waste all that
So
time.
so as he goes, and he's like, him and the partner, Chris Rock and the partner are like fighting like in a service elevator, it seemed like.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh shit, okay. So the cops are coming, and they bring a like a saw because they have to chop the door that's locked.
Yeah.
And I didn't even notice this. And usually I catch up on little things that happen that they do.
Yeah.
I missed the part where he like closed the door and attached a wire. So when they cut this wire,
Mm-hmm.
and when they cut it, it pulls Samuel L. Jackson back up in the air. You know, so he looks like a puppet, you know, hanging in there, you know, like, oh, let me see, like in this scene right here, you know.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's 100% foreshadowing on what's going to happen. You know, it's a pig, you know, which what they call cops, you know, that's hanging on strings, you know.
Yep. Yeah.
That's exactly what happens with Samuel L. Jackson. So he's hanging up there. These guys are looking for somebody, the cops, you know, because somebody's shooting like a madman, I guess. I don't know. It's an abandoned warehouse. Yep. I don't know why you would bring the SWAT team to an abandoned warehouse. I'm like, okay, I guess.
Bring everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. So as he's getting pulled up, these like lights behind him, so he gets backlit like super crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. I'm like, dude, this completely caught me off guard. And I think that's why I liked it so much, is because I did not expect this. So he's all backlit. The cops come in. Chris Rock is like, you know, telling him to stop, and he's on his knees with his hands up, and everyone's screaming. There's noises. And then as Samuel Jackson's kind of high enough where it looks like he's standing up, the lights are on, so you really can't see anything. You just see like a silhouette. Mm-hmm. And then these like barrels come down his arm, like Assassin's Creed style. And then his arm comes up, which he has no control over any of this. Mm-hmm. And his arm comes up, so it looks like he's pointing a gun at the cops, and they just lay in like every single bullet they have in their like rifles and everything. They just light them. They make him into Swiss cheese, like legit. In front of Chris Rock. So after he just saved his dad, he's watching his dad get like killed by cops. Mm-hmm. And it was just like, damn. What? It was just like that ending, I think, made that movie better. You know, because it was an okay movie. I'm like, okay, it's okay. But then the ending was, I'm like, fuck. That was the cherry on top. 100%.
Because you put yourself in Chris Rock's shoes, and you're like, I'm gonna kill that motherfucker. Fuck being a cop. I think if they do a sequel for this film, I think he's gonna throw away the badge. I think he's gonna throw away the badge.
Oh yeah.
He's gonna throw away the badge, and he's gonna just fuck up the rookie. He's gonna be on the run. He's a new Jigsaw. But
well, then he got away. You know,
he did.
Which I don't get why the cops. I guess he was in the service elevator, so the door closes and they just leave. And he's like, that's how it ends. Is him like looking at the elevator, going no, and then credits. I was like, what?
I think I think it was the meat plant. Was it not the meat plant? No, it was something.
It might be.
Because the way one of the doors or the wall closes when the rookie gets away, it reminded me of Saw 1 when one of them closes the gate thing, and then boom, and then they get away. Most of that is real maze like, so I think that's how he probably gets away. It's a big ass maze, so he probably knows the fucking. He studied Jigsaw,
yeah, he knows his stuff.
So he probably knows how to get out of that maze of a fucking warehouse.
Yeah, but yeah, see, and I was like, damn, that ending though would just completely got me off guard. I just, wow, like I was like angry at it, like Oli said, it was like it made her mad. I was like, it made me mad, but it also made me like not happy, but it made me like entertained. Like I'm like, okay, this is why I watched the movie, because of the ending, and then it sets up the other stuff. But I can definitely see what you say, like a sequel.
Yeah.
where he gives up the badge. He's like, I'm over it. But then also the new guy, Spiral,
Hmm.
is gonna like push him. Like he goes, well, you're a good guy, but let's see how good you really are. And pushes him to do effed up stuff. I can see something like that happening.
I don't know.
Yeah,
That's the vibe that I kind of get off. I think for sure they're going for a sequel because he gets away,
yeah.
and yeah, man, th- it sucks because that whole Swiss cheese
Oh
thing,
man,
it's confirmation Samuel Jackson's not going to be in the next one.
yeah, yeah.
Confirmed.
That's not happening because that was kind of crazy. I was like, man, I never seen
Okay.
like a
Hold on.
video like that where they just like lay into somebody.
No, minutes.
Oh,
All
bedtime.
right. Yeah, sorry, bedtime. Putting the kids to bed. Go
Um,
use the bathroom,
but yeah,
please. My
but yeah,
apologies.
yeah, it's all right. They just laid into him, just like
Oof.
five guys, just like everything they had. It was like I'm surprised they didn't like chuck a grenade at him. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, what did you say about Chris Rock? How'd you like his acting in specific?
I think his involvement, his acting, I think he did. I think he did well. Very very mean expressions a lot of the time, and of
Yeah,
course it was justified for everything that was going on. But I don't paint him off as the comedy guy anymore. I think he has some how do you say
I got like range.
some range elsewhere where he can do some other kind of movies. I think it's
Yeah,
opening up the door for him for sure. What do you think,
I don't
real
know.
quick?
I didn't care for it.
Mm,
I still hear Chris Rock. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
I know that sounds silly, but like even when he was yelling, it's it's all I hear is Chris Rock on stage telling a joke. And I don't know if that's because he's so good as a comedian or he's just not that good of an actor. It could be one or the other, but or a little bit of both. It's just his when he's screaming because he screamed a lot in this movie.
He did.
It was a little off for me. I didn't hate it. I thought like it was not bad. Like I think it gave him an option to show off a little bit more. Um, I think it froze a little bit. Um, but yeah, I didn't hate it. I didn't mind it. I didn't think it was like Oscar worthy by any
Oh
means.
no.
It was decent at best. But the ending I thought was his best part, where he was like really, watching his dad die, and although that no at the end, I thought that was a little too hammy for me, but it was
Okay.
not bad.
Okay.
It
I
was not
mean,
bad.
I don't know. I wouldn't say definitely not Oscar worthy. Definitely not getting any awards for his involvement.
Yeah,
But I do think that he led me to believe his role. That's the one thing I look forward to. If you're a
you're
good actor
breaking
or
up a
not,
little bit.
I am. Oh no.
You sound like a robot.
How do I
My
sound
bad.
now? Am I okay?
A little bit better. Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. Gotta call Comcast now.
There you go. Oh yeah,
But
it's still a
yeah, it's
little.
good to wrap this up. So I don't know. I feel like he's okay. He was okay. He wasn't. He didn't make me like go into disbelief of the movie. The movie was believable to me. Everything that he was involved with was okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
Hey, can you
Yeah.
hit the screen real quick?
Um, yeah.
Uh,
Going in and out. Sound like a little like
you might have to wrap it up then, maybe.
a.
Let's see if I'm breaking up.
Bring it. Um.
Mm, okay,
Um.
well, let me chat real quick.
I don't know if you got anything running on the background of the movie or on the computer.
Mm, let's close
Yeah, it
that
just
freeze
started.
broken window.
There.
It just started.
Yeah, it was your son. He goes, you tell me to go to bed. Wham! No internet for you, Dad.
That's probably what he did. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna wiggle the Ethernet cable real quick.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah,
Green screens.
we gotta finish up anyway. We're going
You want
going
to go
on.
ahead and finish up? Final thoughts.
Uh. Yeah. So I w- I would probably wait if you want to see this. I think for me personally, I would say wait till it's out on DVD or streaming to see it. I don't know if it's theater worthy. I mean, it was okay, you know. but and I would rank it somewhere like probably a 3 out of 5. Maybe some slightly above average. For me. You know,
For
um,
me as well, I think 3 out of 5 stars. Hopefully you can catch this.
three out of
If you
five
can hear
stars.
me, 3 out of 5 stars as well. Yeah,
Okay.
it didn't wow me. Like it didn't blow my mind, but I was entertained. So that's where I get a 3.
Yeah, three out of 5. Um, yeah. So I knew we're about the same. Yeah, it was good. Not movie good. I'll wait till it's like out on streaming and pay a few bucks.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I don't know. Um, so next week I don't even know what we're doing next week. I think we're doing Army of Dead next week. Which I
Okay.
think it's already out. I'm not even sure if it's out already. It's on Netflix. It's the new Zack Snyder. We're doing another Zack Snyder
Mm,
movie. Um,
man, is it Army of the Dead
Army of the Dead.
with Batista and the guy that played Scorpion in the new Mortal Kombat film? Okay,
He's in it?
yeah, he's
I
in
don't
it.
know. Yeah, Dave Batista's in it. Zack Snyder. So it is coming Friday this week. So it is not out yet. So yeah, so that's out on Netflix. We're gonna watch that. That's gonna be pretty interesting because I know there's people that were in the movie that got canceled and they
Ooh.
had to redo things. So I know we're gonna talk about that a little bit. Um, but yeah, so that's coming up next week for the Spoiler Kings. We're doing Army of the Dead, another Zack Snyder film. Let's see if this one's any better than his Justice League stuff.
No more 4 hours. More four
No
hours,
more
please.
4 hours. Yeah, please, please don't be a 4 hour movie. Jesus. Although I love Dave Batista, so usually most of the movies he's in, I really tend to enjoy. So we'll see how this one is. It's a zombie killing movie, so that should be pretty good, pretty fun. Those are always fun.
Hell yeah.
Um, but yeah, we'll finish up. Today's Monday, so you're watching Spoiler Kings. We're gonna be back next week, and we are talking Army of Dead, like we were saying. Tomorrow we got Panda and Grizzly, the Bears, Chicago Bears talk, and they're doing breaking down the defense. We have Wednesday the Dynasty Pylon. Mark and Martin are doing their divisional breakdowns for Dynasty football and IDP, which is individual player football. I think they're doing the NFC East. And then Thursday, me and Fredo and whoever else is jumping on with us, they would just become friends and we talk about whatever's trending and all pop culture stuff. And then Sundays, the morning spike. A bunch of us get together, talk about football stuff, get ready for the fantasy football season for the NFL. That's going to be fun. We've been having a blast on that show a lot. So yeah, so that is what we got coming up for you guys. Big changes coming up at the end of the month. We're gonna start announcing all that stuff. That's gonna be really exciting. Um, so I don't want to give any too spoilers, but there is some big changes for the channel and everything coming up at the end of the month. So stay tuned to that. Yeah, sub and like, and so you know what we are talking about. So real quick, Will, any last words?
Dead by Daylight, so you can see
Dead,
the pig killer. That's all I
Dead
got.
by Daylight. Yeah, and Will plays that on Twitch and on Facebook. I see him a lot too. So make sure you go over there and follow him. All the links are in the description and all that good stuff. But yeah, thank you guys, and see you next week for another spoiled movie review. All right, guys.
Later.